Welcome back to Guns 101, our video welcome for new gun owners. It's brought to you by the Self-Defense Radio Network. I'm Rob Morse from Self-Defense Gun Stories. My partners are Amanda Suffolk from Eye on the Target Radio. That other guy there doing the heavy technical lifting, that's Paul Lathrop from the Polite Society podcast. We finally got Beth Alcazar to join us. She's the associate editor and senior training counselor at the USCCA. She's the author of the Pacifiers and Peacemakers blog and the book, Women's Handgun and Self-Defense. Beth, we've got crazy things happening in this country. Some people are locked in quarantine. Other people are in constitutional carry states where if they were able to get a gun, they went from a gun owner to a concealed carrier in a minute.
That's right. And that's such an interesting thought process that probably a lot of us never even thought would happen in such a surge of people at once. And, here in Alabama, where I live, it's actually not constitutional carry. We are working on that, but we are an open carry state. So that's another thing to also kind of group in there. You've got new gun owners who technically, if it's an open carry state, all they have to do is find the right holster and they can walk right out of that gun store and have that gun right there on their hip or wherever they choose to have it. Or if they prefer the concealed carry lifestyle, for those who are constitutional carry states, lucky you can just jump right into this fantastic world that we are living in, that I live in on a daily basis, and that technically I guess I kind of work for. So I eat, breathe, sleep, live this concealed carry idea. Now, for the new gun owner, that could be very overwhelming. You've already gone through the process of trying to find a firearm, and possibly you were maybe limited to the types, models, makes, styles, even caliber that you could choose right now. But thankfully, you have made that first step, and we welcome you to this community of gun owners. For those now moving into the next, arena or the next step or stage of this journey, it's now a very interesting personal decision, because you have to find a holster configuration that is going to work for you, for your body, for your lifestyle, and of course, like I mentioned, for whatever gun it is that you have selected. So a lot of things come into place there, and it's not just a physical thing. Like, what are you going to be comfortable with? What placement around your body makes the most sense? There's also such a mindset to this concealed carry lifestyle. So we really have to consider going, especially from no gun to having a gun on body every day, wherever you go, as long as it's legal. That is a huge decision-making process. And honestly, even for me, I've been doing this for a long, long time now, but it's something that I choose every single day when I wake up. I choose the responsibility to make sure that I am capable and confident, proficient, and hopefully effective with my gun placement, with my gun safety, and hopefully just being a good role model to the community and to those around me who maybe are new gun owners or not gun owners at all. So a lot of things to process there. The holster selection and the mindset that, hey, this is something serious. This is something I really need to prepare myself and my family for. And I really need to make sure I understand the host of responsibilities that go with that kind of lifestyle.
Oh, and you're so right. That first step, when you decide that you're going to put a gun on your person and carry it every day, that the first day, the first week, you feel like that gun is plotting against you, right?
Yes.
And so, yeah, you really sort of do, because it's like, okay, is it there? Is it moving? Is it shifting? Is it wiggling?
Your head's on your hip.
Yeah, what's it doing? Where's it going?
Yes.
All of those things until you get comfortable with it, and then you have faith in your gear and you have faith in your skills and all of those. It takes time to build that up. So,
and what's really interesting about it is that we're all starting at the beginning. Sorry, Amanda. I think I'm hopefully going along the same line of what you're trying to work on, but we all start at the beginning. So nobody should feel bad. I still remember the very first time I carried on body. I felt people were staring at me. I felt like the gun was printing. I kept doing the new concealed carry motion, which is kind of the pat that area where the gun is. Is it still there? And, all that does is draw attention to it. Whereas most people are probably not going to look at you any differently whatsoever, as long as you carry yourself in the same fashion. So, you just have to remember that nobody else out there knows except for you. And you don't have to be so self-conscious about it. You can carry on with confidence. And it takes a little time. It takes a little practice, takes a little getting used to. But ultimately, you'll get to the point where it's almost the complete opposite. The many times I've traveled to a state that doesn't have reciprocity with Alabama's concealed carry permit, I have felt totally just naked. Without my gun, I felt vulnerable and very, very weird.
There is that. And then if you're a guy carrying concealed in the beginning, it's pretty simple because you probably don't dress any differently. You're wearing a pair of jeans, you're wearing a shirt, you have a little extra room and you put it in there. If you're a woman, it changes how you dress, how you shop, everything for it to make sure that it doesn't print and that you've got room for it, or that your clothes don't pull over it, and I'm not sure that the guys notice, but women have curves, and those change the dynamic of how a gun fits on your person. And so that fits into that too.
It's definitely an interesting challenge. Like you said, Amanda, most guys are wearing practically the same thing every day. They've got some kind of trouser type thing and some kind of shirt and probably a belt. I hate wearing belts. So that was a big change for me. In certain configurations, I have to wear a belt to be able to have that gun steady and sturdy. But it also makes an interesting challenge, even the materials of clothes that a lot of ladies have. It's very thin. It might be a little clingy, and you might have to compromise. You might have to give up on a few of those things in order to make sure that you can be safe and confident with your firearm. You also have to figure out how to go through the challenges of going to the restroom with a firearm. And that makes for an interesting challenge.
It does, but it really ties to the need for good gear and the ability to where when you select the holster that gun is going to live in, being able to turn it over and the gun not come out, or however you're doing it, so that because frankly, when guys go to the bathroom, what's the percentage? And I don't know, and I don't even want to roll the numbers out of how many times they take a seat versus they.
Yeah, why are we going there? Right.
No, because the thing is you guys drop trout 1 in 10 times to every time we do. So it really is a much bigger issue for new gun owners and new women gun owners than it is for guys. And frankly, I've sat on some of the Facebook pages and stuff where they're having conversations, and even the conversations that men have about where do you put your gun? Well, it should stay in its holster, connected to the clothing where you connected it. It shouldn't be freewheeling around. It shouldn't.
Right. And one lucky thing too, Amanda, that most women do carry a purse with them. So I have kind of a lot of times just resulted with I've got my purse with me. If I can remove the whole holster system, not the gun, but the whole holster system and place it in my bag, at least I know it's safe and it's contained. And then even if I start to leave that stall and my firearm is still in my purse, at least it's with me and it hasn't been left behind on a toilet like I've heard some people do. So new gun owners, you have a lot more to think about than you thought. You never considered the challenges of the bathroom with a firearm.
I'm telling you, there's so much more that you can go into that. But all we're saying is you need to kind of think about that. And when you shop for gear, good quality gear that holds your gun and that keeps things in place really matters. And if you find a bargain holster that costs you $10 or $15, it's not worth the money you're spending. It's not worth a penny, let alone $10 or $15. It's not. So we could go into this more and more and more, and there's so much more to it. But this will give you at least the thought about the fact that you've got to think about it when you start to conceal carry. Where you're going to carry, how you're going to carry, what gear you're going to use to carry. So we've been talking to Beth Alcazar, Senior Training Counselor from USCCA. and the author of Women's Handgun and Self-Defense Fundamentals. We'll come back, another video, and talk more with her about her book.